Welcome to the What If Factor Living Beyond the Question Mark podcast with Dr. Williams, the show that inspires you to live a life without regrets, a life beyond the question mark. And now, let's listen to today's episode.
I want to ask you a question. Why do you allow your past experiences to define your worth and dictate the potential of your future? How many times have you felt a passion for something, but then quickly let it go because you allowed the past to tell you it's not going to work? Whether we want to admit it or not, our past experiences shape us in profound ways. But when we hold on to pain and hurt, they become anchors that weigh us down. Whether it's trauma, a physical or mental abuse, or the lingering effects of past disappointment, these burdens can consume our thoughts, hinder our actions, and prevent us from reaching our full potential. Now, I could end this entire segment right now by telling you to let it go, get over it, and move on. While this is essential, what must happen is a little more complicated than that. You see, whether we realize it or not, the truth is letting go is one of the hardest things we will ever do. But while it may be difficult, it is necessary. You see, you cannot act on that which you have not yet embraced. I can tell you day in and day out that there is better out there for you, but until you believe it and receive it, then it's nothing more than words whose destination is nowhere. Can I tell you a little secret that might help you? You are comfortable with not knowing. The fear of the unknown and the belief that the alternative might be worse keeps you anchored to your past. You've become so comfortable with the trauma that you have convinced yourself that you cannot live without reliving it. But I have news for you. What you perceive as stability is actually blocking your path to growth and fulfillment. You see, you've been carrying this burden around so long that you don't realize that it's the source of your discontentment with life and the driving force behind your embracing generational curses. But what you fail to realize is that by being content with discontentment, you are falling short of your destiny. By design, we are supposed to be able to look at mountains and tell them to move out of our way. And they actually move. Just as you have the power to speak to mountains, you have the power to speak to your pain and tell it to move out of your way. To unleash the power of these words, you have to stop allowing fear to run rampant in your mind. You can't declare victory while accepting defeat, any more than you can walk forward while walking backward. There is power not just in the tongue, but also in the mind. In order to speak it, you must first think it. In order to think it, your mind must first receive it. If you think and speak liberty, then you are free. But the moment you think or speak limitations, then you are bound. If you think and speak prosperity, then you are prosperous. But the moment you think or speak poverty, then you are poor. Whatever you put in the atmosphere is what is returned to you. Release the anchors and watch how things change for you. When I thought about this segment, I kept thinking about anchors. By design, an anchor is meant to keep something in place. If you allow your past experiences to be anchors, they will keep you in the land of less than enough and angry at the world. Now, can I tell you another secret? The only time an anchor should be present in your life is to keep you rooted in the firm foundation of your faith. The same faith that gives you the power to speak to mountains and move them out of your way. The same faith that gives you power over your circumstances, allowing you to speak to them and move them out of your way. So you're telling me I have to let go of the things that keep me anchored, but then embrace an anchor? Absolutely. When your anchor is faith, it provides you with stability and confidence in uncertain times. So how do you break free of the bad anchors? The first thing you have to do is be committed to change itself. And the second thing you must do is be committed to changing your mindset. You can say you want to change all day, but until you are committed to doing things differently, things will change for a little while, but quickly go back to the status quo, or they won't change at all. The pain you have endured is a part of your story, but it in no way defines who you are or who you will become. What I want you to understand is that shedding the bad anchors of your past experiences is like cleaning your closet of garments that no longer fit you. As long as they stay there, they occupy space, leaving little or no room for the growth that has and will transpire in your life. Can you imagine if we remain toddlers throughout our entire life? Now, I'm not talking about people who act like toddlers, but I mean if we remain the same size as a toddler and could only process the things that a toddler could process. Just as we are not designed to remain in a stagnant state, we are not meant to stay bound by the chains of our past. How we liberate ourselves from the oppression of our past is by letting go. You see, holding on to pain will cause a journey of 11 days to turn into one of 40 years. Because you think it's better to turn and go back to Egypt, or because you don't believe that the Almighty can set you free. Letting go and submitting to a higher power is a necessary step in reaching your place of destiny. Hear me. The longer you hold on to the notion that the unknown or the other side of the question mark might be worse, the more things will become uncomfortable for you. There is discomfort in holding on to the very things you feel bring you comfort. What do I mean by this? Before long, you begin to lose interest in things that once brought you joy. You begin to turn away from people and may not even realize you are doing it. You become bitter, looking at the glass as half empty instead of half full. As humans, we are in part driven by curiosity. I'm not talking about the kind of curiosity that makes you want to know someone else's business. I'm talking about the curiosity that drives your desire to learn and understand things. When leveraged properly, curiosity leads to innovations that change the world. Our ability to ask, what if, is the driving force that propels us forward, encouraging us to take risks and step outside of our comfort zone. Imagine if you could let go of your pain and find healing and happiness. What if you could discover your true purpose and live a life filled with purpose and fulfillment? Embracing the what if opens the doors to endless possibilities and allows us to experience life in ways we never thought possible. Imagine if you could let go of your pain and find healing and happiness. What if you could discover your true purpose and live a life unleashed? Embracing the what if factor opens the door to endless possibilities and allows us to experience life in ways we never thought possible.
Thank you for tuning into another episode of The What If Factor, Living Beyond the Question Mark podcast with Dr. Williams. If you would like more information about the What If Factor and where to purchase the book, please visit thewhatiffactor.com. Until next time, remember, in the grand tapestry of life, every thread, vibrant or dull, contributes to a masterpiece that captures the essence of our unique journey. As always, our prayer for each of you is that you prosper and be in good health.